All right, it's a frosty morning here at the farm and we've got some repair work to do today. So it's been a super busy week, a super busy couple weeks with hog loading. You guys saw us in the last video doing some loading, but we put 11 loads on this week, and yeah, it's time to get caught up on some of the repair work. So I got a feed line that needs repaired, and I think we're gonna have to put in a new curtain winch on the ceiling baffles in the second barn. So I'll show you a little bit more about that, explain that. So that's what we're gonna work on today. So hopefully we can work on that a little bit today too and get ready for the winter. All right, let's get it done. I mean, it is December after all, so I guess it should be cold, but we've been kind of spoiled lately because we've had actually some pretty warm days. Yeah, but the cold is here now, it looks like, so we better get ready. So we're unloading all the goods from yesterday's purchase. The awesome thing about these breakdowns was they happened during the week of open house sale at Farmer Boy. So we got a 10% discount on the parts that we needed because of their year-end sale. And we try to buy a little bit of a supply for the year during that sale because we get 10% off. So we got a couple extra control boxes and a couple other parts. We got a new sort board and a couple other things to get us going for the year here, but mainly to get us going for right now. So let's get these parts on. All right, we got things taken care of in the first barn. The first barn is getting pretty empty because we've been loading out. And so we don't want to get too much feed in that barn. So we're trying to move pigs around and not get the feeders any fuller than we need, so that when all the pigs are gone, the feeders are also empty in the barn, because then the feed that's in there is just a waste. So we got that taken care of, moved some pigs around, shut some feeders off, turned some feeders on. We got a bigger project in the second barn, and we'll get to that in a minute. That's the curtain winch that runs the ceiling baffles. But first thing, we're gonna run down here and get this control box put on. We normally have a couple spares of these control boxes, but unfortunately I had used all my spares, and I don't know, I guess this is the time for them all to conk out. So theoretically they were all put in at the same time, so I guess maybe it makes sense that they would all wear out at the same time. But we've been changing out a lot of them lately, and I ran out, so I needed to get more. But I also needed to get feed into the barn. So we kind of hot wired the box a little bit to get it to run, and still put feed in though, even though the controls weren't quite working right. So we've been running this feed line kind of manually for the last couple days until I could get to Farmer Boy to pick up these control boxes, which is kind of annoying because it requires a little bit extra time because I gotta wait here while it fills. But it's better than shoveling feed or bucketing feed, so that's been a blessing. But let's get this box swapped out and then we should be back in order. So we have this feed line set to manual. We've been running it manually because the sensors that turn it off automatically are not currently working, but I'll show you what I got going on here. So this feed line comes in from outside at the bins. These white tubes is what the feed runs in, but the length of the barn is too long for a single run. So we have a transfer hopper right here, I don't know, 30 feet into the barn. There's this transfer, this is a motor that runs this auger, and the feed comes in, dumps down into this auger, and then runs out the rest of the way. So, but this is the control box that is busted, and you can see I have it opened up here, and I have it kind of jumpered together because that's how we've been running it. But right now I need to get it turned off, so we're going to disconnect those wires and get that cleaned out, and then we'll swap this box out. So there's a couple levels of redundancy in the switching of these augers, and the first one is that the sensor at the end is supposed to shut everything off. And the next one is there's a pressure plate inside that box that if the hopper gets full, it shuts the auger off. However, both of those things are controlled by the control box that is broken. So I don't have any of those in place. However, fortunately for this morning, there is two more redundancies in there. The next one is that the control system actually monitors the amp draw of these motors. And so if the amp draw gets too high, which it would if the hopper plugs up, then it shuts the motor off because it knows there's something wrong, which is actually what happened this morning. So I had this running while I was checking on the other barn, and apparently it got full before I got over here to shut it off. And so it shut the end off, which is fine, but the middle box doesn't have any controls on it anymore. So the middle box kept running until it plugged up this hopper. So I got to get this hopper unplugged here first, and then we can get going. All right, so I already pulled this front board out because that was the problem that was burnt. And when the front board went out, it actually burnt the second board. You can see this here. See, this is all burnt. It must have been enough to kill that board too. So got that out of place. And I just need to pull this box the rest of the way off, and then we can put the new one on. Here's the annoying thing about working in here. The pigs are always messing with you, biting your boots. All wired up. Let's give it a shot. Please. So the box goes through a little bit of a startup the first time it's plugged in. What right now is it's showing how sensitive the sensor is in there that senses the pressure or senses the presence of feed on the back side of that. That's, remember, the one switch. Oh, there we go. All right, that's one project done. I'm gonna go through the rest of this barn and make sure everything's good to go here, and then we're gonna go to the other barn and see if we can get that curtain machine put on. Everybody wants to see what's going on. So you guys want to see the problem with these boards? This is the classic problem. See that right there? That burnt connection? That's what happens. It's on this one relay that controls the motor. For some reason, that connection there always burns. And In our case, it burnt the board behind it then too. Look, here's another one. See? Same spot. All right, everything looks good to go in that barn. Now, off to our bigger project. All right, so I thought I'd explain a little bit about what's going on in this barn. So these barns are what they call tunnel ventilation, and that means that the fans are at the end and they push out and they draw air through the whole length of the barn. So the air has to come in somewhere. So this is the front curtain. This is controlled, but before the front curtain opens, there's ceiling baffles that open. You can see it right here. This little door comes up and down, is the first step for air inlet in the barn. So as the fans come on, as the temperature rises and the more fans are called to come on, we need to let more and more air in. But the first step is to open the ceiling baffles. The idea is that we're pulling air from the attic of the barn, which is not as cold as the outcoming air and doesn't create as much of a draft. So we can create a little bit of inlet without creating a lot of draft. And so that's good for minimum ventilation kind of situations, especially when the pigs are little, because when the pigs are little, we don't want to give them a draft and we have to keep the barn warm. So bringing in the air from the attic is a little bit tempered from the outside air, and so that's the first step. So that, however, is our problem today. There's a machine, a curtain machine they call it, that raises and lowers these baffles, and our curtain machine is done, I believe. We've messed around with this thing for a little while. I repaired the motor a couple times, and now the motor is needing repair again, but also the screw is not right. And so I thought, you know what, it's time. We're just gonna replace it with a new machine. So fortunately, we had our Farmer Boy discount, so we got a discount on the machine, and just need to get it put up now. So here is the curtain machine, and basically all it is a little ball screw. You can see or not, there's a screw in there that's connected to a motor, and that pulls this in and out, which is connected to these chains and cables, which goes out to the ceiling baffles. So we didn't take this whole thing down. Hey guys, stop testing. Come on. All right, so the first thing was we got to get tension off that cable, so we put this ratchet strap on here. All right, so we got the ceiling baffles ratchet strapped up, and I just took the cables loose. So we're ready to take that box down, and then we can hopefully put the next box up. Okay, ready to hold that in? Behind you. I don't know, I think it goes after it. Oh no. Oh wait. No, is that right there? Where? Yeah, maybe that's just like talking. I think it's gone. I gotta get a socket. You okay for a second? down a bit. It's stripped out. Just pull it down a bit. There's a nut up here. You okay? Yeah. Alright, we got more backups. So, the socket on my extension got caught in the machine when we were taking the other one down and fell in the pit. So, looks like I lost a impact socket. Maybe we can try to get it out, I don't know. But we'll keep going without it for now. We gotta get this new machine put together and then we'll get her stick up.
So let's take the loosen up.
Handle installed. Well, it's kind of like it's just all worn out now. The screw had locked up, and the motor, there's a little gearbox in the motor, and one of the gears in that motor had actually stripped because of the screw getting tight, I guess. We had actually replaced the screw before. I'm not sure why it keeps getting tight, but there's actually the old one sitting right over there. But because the screw got tight, it was giving more resistance, and the gears in the gearbox couldn't take it, and it stripped out the little spot on the gear. So I actually welded it up and then ground the teeth back in the gear. I did that twice, actually. So that happened again, and the screw is also shot. So I decided that we're just gonna go for a new box. So here we are. See if you guys can hold it up. We're gonna practice the hold up.
First thing is like how you grab it.
Grab it right underneath the boost.
There you go. You guys think you can hold it? Maybe, should we get some?
Flip it this way.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Right. You have to hold it up like that.
Go hold it up. You gotta get all the way up to the ceiling.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna go to the ceiling as well.
Okay. Let's give it a shot.
Oh yeah, do you want to hold it up and I could just run them in?
I don't know.
Could you reach up there?
I don't think you can reach though. so that the pigs don't knock you over. Hey pigs, come on. Hey pigs, come on here. Get out of here. You gotta be over there. You're gonna have to stand on top of the gate. There you go. Is that okay?
A little bit. It's so slippery, it's probably. It's just like if I
Turn your foot sideways.
Oh no, they're pushing me. I don't know if I can do it. It's slippery.
Are you okay?
Sun needs to come my way a little bit.
No, I'm not okay.
Okay.
No, don't do
Okay.
It's not gonna work. I'm gonna slip and like break myself and break the box.
Yeah, just keep the pigs away. I'm gonna get Earl. At the front edge of that square.
I'm gonna have to.
You want a second bucket? Can you go up any higher, Jeremy? There you go. So we need to go Earl's way a little bit more. Right there. Come my way a little bit. So the next problem we realized is that our wires are too short. We didn't actually replace this box with the same box that we had. We had a Munters box in there, and this Airstream box was was more than $1,000 cheaper. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it does the same exact thing. It's the same exact rating with the same exact load. I don't know why in the world Munters thinks their box would be $1,000 more, but at any rate, we had to switch the box, so things are just a little bit different, including the fact that the electrical panel used to be on this side, now it's on that side. Which means that our wires are too short. So we'll probably have to run and get some supplies, but I thought if we can get it wired up, we'll get it wired up at least temporary for today, and then we can get some more longer seal tight and put it in for real later.
He looks so funny while he's trying to drink his water here. It's like, he's giving you like a side eye or something. They all drink it out of the side of their mouth.
All right, so now we got to figure out which wire is which. So look, here's sealing baffle, Jaren. It's on manual already. So there's open and close, okay? When I tell you open or close, switch the switch and we'll see if we can figure it out. Okay, hold those wires over here.
They all have some? Y'all got some juice?
No juice. Okay, Jared, go open! There, that's open. Okay, that's the open one. Okay, Jared, go close! Now we got that one. That one's closed. Okay, go off!
That side.
And then this one was open, right? Unbent was open.
Yeah, unbent was open.
Ouch, they are biting my feet.
What are we looking for?
We're supposed to be going open, but... Go close!
When it feels tension, or what?
No, I want to run this screw, but it's not running. All right, so we're at the other barn here because we're trying to figure out how this one is wired so we can see if the other one is wired right.
Now we're in the Shomar barn, doing the same thing.
All right, so now we're in the next barn. Yeah, this isn't the Shomar barn. This barn had the old style controllers, and we switched this over. We put these curtain winches in later. So we're trying to figure out what's going on here, and there's a jumper wire in here that I see. So we're gonna try to maybe put that jumper wire in the other one over there and see if it'll run. All right, so we have this one wired like the one in the other barn now. And Jaren ran up to the switches, and we're gonna see if it works. Okay, go open!
Moment of truth.
Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's working. All right, perfect. So we're gonna run this all the way out. I'm not sure how we were supposed to know that because the manual didn't show it wired like that, but apparently somebody figured it out on that other barn. So we got to glean from their knowledge. Yeah, you can be hard to get through there. All right, we're just gonna reattach these cables and then we'll run it up, see if we can get it working. The wiring is still temporary, but that's as good as we can get for today, I think. All right, so we got the cables attached and now we're running it closed until we get tension back on the cables again. Then we can take our ratchet straps off and put it back to auto. Hopefully that'll be good. We'll have to make sure we have it adjusted, but we can do the adjustment once we get the tension on it. So far the pigs haven't kicked my bucket yet, but it's getting close. See, they love to get on the bucket. All right, so we got that all finished up. We just need to get some longer piece of seal tight here, and then we can put that wire in its casing, but otherwise it's wired up and it's working. So check that one off the list. We're on to the next.